Moment, let me get okay. So social media exists and it's very easy to create something or to present news or information in a highly emotional or charged way. And there's a reason for that. What's going to get you more money if you're a news station or if you're a big news corporation? The stuff that's going to cause an emotional response in people, probably. People are going to be more likely to click on the clickbaity things than they are just the blah, 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 straight up facts. There are news sources like that too that just present very much the facts, but everybody's got an angle. And so that, and again, we're not going to get political at all, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about how some news stations come from a certain political angle where they're going to shape things towards their audience, and their audience could be more of conservative or progressive, liberal, base. And so they're going to shift their stories to to appeal to their audience, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's fake. It just means they might spin it a certain way. It's still the truth. It just might be the truth on a slant. And that's true of both sides of the news. Not to mention, so that's like just telling, like Emily Dickinson said, tell the truth, but tell it slant. So they might present the news, but phrase it a certain way. And then there's just plain old fake news. Like you can fake stuff so easily. So we'll get into it, and then we'll play a game where we'll make our own fake news. But don't worry, we're not going to actually like do anything harmful, and it's going to be fake. We're not going to actually damage people's I don't know, we're not going to stir up a bunch of nonsense, just fake nonsense. All right. Anyway. So let's talk about the word misinformation. So misinformation is incorrect, fake, or misleading content. Okay. Misinformation can be on purpose or unintentional. I will say that there's misinformation with the M, then there's disinformation. Disinformation is people who are telling things that are not true on purpose. They are on purpose trying to deceive people. Misinformation could just be that it's not exactly everything's there that needs to be, you're missing context, or somebody's saying it wrong. So there was a big thing going on a week ago where they're saying America's about to run out of money. This was all over, I think it was like TikTok, where people were like, America's about to run out of money. And that's actually misinformation, because it's not exactly true. It's missing some context. It's not that we're about to run out of money. It's about the amount of money that we've been approved to spend was about to be ended. We had not approved spending any extra money. Once we approve it, then we're able to spend more. It's not that we're running out of money. So that was misinformation. It's misleading. It makes you think that America is broke when it's not. It's just that we reached our limit and we need to extend our limit if we want to keep spending money. So that was misinformation going around. And I don't think people were doing that on purpose. I think they really kind of heard stuff in the news and went, wait, what? We can't spend any more money? Does that mean we don't have any more money? Oh my gosh, we don't have any more money. Not true. We have money. We just have to approve. We have to give ourselves permission to spend it. So that's what that is, right? That's just an example of misinformation. Again, disinformation is people making things on purpose to be false. And you might be sitting there going, why would someone do that? Why would someone make fake information? And we'll come back to that. So if you have an idea, you can put it in the chat and we will return to it. All right. So why is misinformation harmful? And this is happening a lot in our country right now and internationally. There's not a lot of rules and regulations on what gets shared on the internet. In fact, Facebook a week ago just got in trouble because someone who used to work there said they know how damaging misinformation can be, and they're not doing as much about it. And so she basically went and told on Facebook in front of Congress, which is not good. Made Facebook look pretty bad. And is what she's saying completely correct? Don't know her, don't know how credible she is. But that is certainly not a good look for them regardless. So of course they came back and said, we're doing a lot more than she gave us credit for, blah, blah, blah. Why is misinformation bad though? It can stir up a bunch of emotional stuff. It can provoke violence. It can provoke racism or other like prejudices against people groups. And so it can be very divisive, and we have enough division. And so it's not helpful And some people can really, it can really exaggerate like psychological issues that they have, because it can brood a lot more fear and a lot more anxiety in people. There was a thing called doom scrolling, which you've probably heard this, but like it came around last year when so much stuff was happening in 2020 that was just bad. Like there's just, every time you turn on the news, there's like something else horrible had happened in the middle of the pandemic, and there's a lot of political unrest, and there was a lot of like social justice stuff going on, and it was very emotional what we were looking at. And they call it doom scrolling because you would just get on the phone and scroll through all the doom in the world, just looking at negative stuff and feeding negative stuff into us. This is a different conversation, but feeding negative stuff is just not good for our mental health. Regardless, it can be harmful. Here's where it is: the illusory truth effect. When people are exposed to false information over and over again, they start to believe it. As crazy as that sounds, if I were to tell you 2 + 2 is 5, and I were to say that enough times, you might believe it. Now, that one's an extreme example, but if you start, hearing something over and over about a certain people group or about the government or about a particular organization, and you hear it enough times, it starts to kind of get like a little, digs down into your brain. It's hard to kind of unhear that, right? Spreading information can lead to more people believing. Now, if it's true, that's different. Okay, let's enlighten people. But like most of this stuff is not really based in fact, and instead just creates more confusion and creates, like I said, fear. Misinformation about other people can be damaging to them if they're spread. So not just people groups, but people in general. It's kind of like how rumors at school are kind of terrible. Even if the rumor is false, it can really damage somebody's reputation, right? Like, oh, that's the person who did you know what. And then maybe they didn't. Maybe somebody's just being mean or misunderstood something, and now they spread all this. And regardless, now that person has to live with that, even if they didn't do it. Same thing is true with misinformation. You can essentially, if you wanted to, invent a story about somebody. And even if it's not true, it can be very damaging to their job or very damaging to their, livelihood and their reputation. So it's bad. Misinformation about things like health can be dangerous if people listen to it. So if I were to tell you that, well, I'm trying to think of a good example. Hanging your head over a campfire and breathing in smoke is really good for clearing toxins out of your body. If I said that enough times and I put a picture of somebody jogging behind it and looking very healthy, some people might believe that. You should not hang your head over a campfire and breathe in the smoke. It's very bad for you. But if it comes from somebody people trust, or if it looks legitimate, or they see it enough times, they're going to start to believe that. And this has happened. So, and it can be very dangerous. People could actually get very hurt because of misinformation. So here are the types of misinformation. There's fabricated content, which means somebody just made it up, literally just made it up. Like if I were to say aliens landed in my yard, guys, today, and then I photoshopped a picture of an alien in my front yard. I mean, somebody on the planet might see that and believe it, right? Clickbait, you guys have probably heard of this, but clickbait is those like gotcha, attention grabbing kind of headlines where it's like top 10 ways to make $1 million in a week. I would click on that headline. I'd be like, I wonder what they have to say. Let me see here. But it's very attention grabby. Or you won't believe what this person did after she met her biological dad, or something like that, emotional or fear-based, or like the clickbait about the money where it's like, ooh, get rich quick. Ooh, satire. So there's whole websites dedicated to making fake news that's supposed to be funny. So it's not like they're trying to sell you something that you're supposed to believe. It's a joke website. It's supposed to be, but this stuff gets passed around because some folks don't know to fact check it and go, this is by The Onion. The Onion is the most famous one I can think of, where The Onion is only posting joke fake news articles all the time. It's supposed to be there to laugh, but some people will pass it around like it's serious because they don't know that The Onion is a fake website or that's supposed to be funny. False context, so missing some pieces, and then manipulated is where it's not telling the whole truth. Like, so moving on. All right, so here's an example of fabricated content. So content that is faked in order to deceive people or influence them towards a certain stance on an issue. So we're going to come back to like, why would someone create fake news? It can involve politics or be unrelated, like an Instagram facts page, and it's really easy to create. So here's an example. These get passed around all the time. Mark Zuckerberg dead at 36. Social media sites should not fact check posts. So this is fake, and it's very easy to make. And you guys can hear my dog in the background. So sorry about that. I don't know what he's barking at. He's excited. I think there's actually like a group of kids in my neighborhood who are riding their bikes up and down the road. And that's probably driving him crazy, but it's super cute. They have like a little neighborhood biker gang, which is really adorable. But just please forgive the nonstop barking. Anyway, says he died of coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. This is very fake. It's not real at all, but we see this and immediately you have to be like, wait, what? Like if I saw this posted, I would have to go and look other places to verify it. And again, because it's really easy to make that. And so I would encourage you, if you see something like this and you're not sure, go to some of these big news sites. So we're talking Fox, CNN, Time, look at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, look at Washington Post, like these big places. Yes, they have a political bent. They have a bias. They do. But these these organizations are so big and they've been around for so long and they have so much money that they have a lot to lose by making too much stuff that's fake. They can certainly manipulate content to have a bias, but if they start putting out fake stuff, they have a lot to lose from that. They could get sued. They could be really taken to town for that. So they have more of a reason to not put blatantly fake things up there. If you were to see a website that's like realnewsrightnow.blogspot.com, that's just somebody's personal blog. So you can learn a lot from seeing people's like URL address. Okay, so manipulated content, media that's been edited or used in a way that's meant to deceive you for an effect. So an example of manipulated content would be a photo that's been edited or a misleading chart or graph. So here is a photo of a little girl and she's just standing in the water and there's a koala, but they this picture went around the internet during the Australia wildfires last year. And it looks like this girl has saved a koala from the burning, Australian bush outback. So a touching photo of a very brave girl, except it didn't happen. And it's very easy to make it. Have you guys heard of deep fakes? Deep fakes are the new thing that's really weird, where they put someone's picture and they have someone else move their mouth behind it. And so you can have a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and then you could film my face saying something and then superimpose those pictures on top of each other and make it look like Abraham Lincoln is saying something. This is bad because if I was running for president and somebody decided to make a deep fake of me, they could take my image, put a video of them saying something horrible or, something really damaging and overlay my face on it. And a lot of these, if they're sophisticated, look really real. And so it could be very hard for me to try to say, oh, no, that's not me. I didn't say that stuff, because to people on the internet, it looks like I said it. I have some of these deep fakes are very convincing. Like you can look at it and be like, that person said that. And you're like, wait a minute. No, that's fake. But it's hard, especially if you're not, keen on this. I'll be honest. Like there are groups of folks who older who are just, technology is something that they learned in their adulthood. They didn't grow up with it. Not all of them, some of them very savvy, but for others, they can have a harder time detecting fake versus not. So like we might be able to look at this photo and be like, oh, fake. But for other folks, they will have a harder time understanding that. My grandmother, I'm thinking of her, she's 92. She would not even begin to understand the concept of Photoshop edited pictures. That would be beyond her. She would have no idea what that means. When she grew up in the news, if you saw a picture like this in the newspaper, it's because somebody took a picture of it with a camera. The idea of meshing pictures together to make something, that's completely alien concept to her. So she is vulnerable to these sorts of things because she sees it and goes, wait a minute, is that real? So anyway, false context. So when an image, quote, or other content is paired with a fake story to change its meaning. So the content being used is real, but the story behind it is not. So I donated bone marrow yesterday to a stranger, says the image here. That's their title. It says, actually, you didn't. You stole and cropped this photo from an article posted back in February. You even stole the caption. So this person took this picture of someone and posted it on, it looks like this is Reddit, posted it on Reddit, said, I donate bone hair. Why would they do this? Probably to get likes, probably to get attention, to feel good. But it's not even a picture of them. And so you can find out if pictures have existed in the past, if someone's stolen a picture of something and is reusing it, by doing a reverse image search, which the way I do it is I just type it into Google, reverse image search, and Google goes, hey, okay, cool. Either upload the picture or you can like just copy paste the picture URL and it'll tell you this is where on the internet you can see this picture. And you'll see people, have stolen it or where it appears. We'll get into that a little bit more in a second. Satire or parody content that is faked for entertainment or humor. It's not meant to mislead, but it's sometimes mistaken for, real content, again, like the Onion. Onion News Network.
In Modesto, California today, crowds turned out for the annual Modesto County Ninja Parade, which once again passed through town entirely undetected.
This is our 4th straight year coming, and we've still never seen a ninja.
According to an arrow scroll delivered straight into the heart of the city clerk, this marked the 30th year that the Modesto area ninjas have stealthily celebrated their heritage.
It's amazing how the ninjas can sneak by undetected on us. The kids love trying to be able to spot them and not being able to.
A record crowd of 3,000 people came out to not see the ninjas.
We were right where the ninjas probably were.
Best part was probably when I found the candy in my pocket. The ninjas must have came up behind me like really fast and took all this candy.
Despite its long tradition, only once in 1984 was any evidence of the parade's presence captured on film. And after the event,
we'll stop there, but it's a joke. Like the whole thing's a joke. They're all actors. It's completely a joke. But it's like funny because it's like a ninja parade and then nobody shows up. It's supposed to be because they're really sneaky. Anyway, LOL. All right, clickbait. This is the one I see so much. And like, it used to be like 10 years ago, everything was clickbait. And I feel like it was just everywhere. And now I feel like there's not as much, but especially like, okay, so like on Snapchat, they have a whole page where it's like, you won't believe that. Anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to encounter it. But I think it's like not as prevalent, at least from what I've seen, it's not as prevalent as it was. So, titillating, meaning entertaining videos or articles in an exaggerated or tilting videos or articles in an exaggerated. What is this sentence? So basically exaggerating videos or articles so more people will click on them. It's often used in YouTube, TikToks, news articles. Also common, something like she starts feeling sick, but you'll never believe what they found on the x-ray. So here's one. Oops, the cook put too much salt on these fries. I'll get you another one. The YouTuber's like, I almost ate deadly French fries. Story time. So that's like an example of they just put too much salt on it and then they just like exaggerated it, to death to get people to watch. How to recognize misinformation. Here we go.
Here are 5 ways to spot fake news. Number 1, look for unusual URLs. If they end with .lo or .com.co, chances are they aren't legitimate news sites. Number 2, dissect the layout. Look for grammatical errors, incorrect dates, bold claims with no sources, and sensationalist images. These are all red flags. Number 3, dig deeper. Find out who wrote the article and who supports the site. If this information doesn't exist, or you need to register to get it, then question why. Number 4, cross-check. Use fact-checking sites to confirm information and see whether other credible news outlets are reporting similar news. Number 5, try a reverse image search. If the same picture appears in unrelated stories, you may have a reason to be suspicious. For more media literacy tips, visit us at commonsense.org.
So that's just some easy things you can do. Basically, when you encounter news, I'm not saying be skeptical, like don't believe it, but just zoom out and go, okay, is this occurring on other websites? Where is this coming from? Who paid for this to be put up there? Because if your uncle is posting it on Facebook, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. You might trust him and he might believe it, and that does not make it means a bad person. But folks share stuff that may not be true all the time. I read a stat the other day that said people are much more likely to share something if it has a picture background. So like if I were to just like type out a fact as like plain text, Okay. But if I were to put that text on top of like a picture of a sky, or if it's something more charged, like if it's a health thing and I put it on top of like someone giving someone a shot and I'd be like, shots do this and this to you, people are much more likely to share a photo that has words on top of it than they are just words. Again, I think it's just visually appealing, stuff like that. So other things to consider: does the post seem to favor one side of an issue? Again, just because they're biased doesn't mean they're not telling the truth. They're just telling it a certain way. Does the post have any vague claims that aren't supported by any source? So they're just making a bombastic claim like 30% of people have this special gene that makes them fly. Like, okay, you just pulled that out of your behind. That makes no sense. Can you find this information anywhere else on the internet? So again, if only one site is saying it, then that doesn't mean it's legit. Does this post seem extreme or too good to be true? Again, how to get $1 million in a week? Like, All right. So here's an example post. Researchers estimate that 2/3 of humans have no idea what they're good at or what their strengths are. So example post 1. Oop. And this one is just like psychology facts is what it says. And like, but who funded that? Like, when did they do this research? And like, how did they measure it? Like this, there's like a whole bunch of stuff people have to do to have a study done, and it has to be peer reviewed. And if you aren't, this could be an easily made up fact, I guess is what I'm saying. Just having a stock photo image of a woman looking off with question marks, calling it psychology facts, and then typing something underneath it does not make it true. This could be true, but if I see this, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't know if that's true. Let me search that fact and see where else it appears on the internet. If it starts to appear in medical journals, okay, cool. Guess that's a true fact. Awesome. Because I'm going to trust medical journals, because I trust that they go through rigorous stuff to get published, and they go through rigorous critiques and reviews. And they get debunked all the time because people critique and review them too. So it's not like people are doing fake information. They are constantly learning and evolving. So if it appears from someone legit, I'm going to believe it. But if this is easily something you can just make on the internet, this right here. All right. Next. Example post 2, massive increase in house prices this year. So we've got a graph here, the average price, and then look at that blue graph, and then look at the red one. It goes way up. People are going to see this and go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This could actually, if enough people see this and enough people don't know to do their research, this could cause like a huge issue with the housing market. People could start to buy up a bunch of houses thinking that they're going to be able to sell them again. It could change things big time. But if you look at the numbers, the price only increased by $2,000. That's $80,000 to $82,000 over the course of 1 year. That's not a big difference. A house is very expensive. $2,000 is just a drop in the bucket. They manipulated the graph to make it look like it was just this enormous jump, and it's really not. And then they called it massive increase in house prices. The fact would be house prices are increasing this year. When you start saying massive, now you're evoking an emotional response. You're making people stressed. You're playing off fear, and they do that a lot in the news. All right, example post 3, man tries to hug a wild lion. You won't believe what happens next. What is this an example of? We just talked about this. This is clickbait, because it's like, oh, what happens? I gotta find out. Clickbait, like bait for a fish. You hook, line, and sinker. Clickbait. Do I click on clickbait sometimes? Yes, I do. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, what did happen next? Let me find out. And then I'll go to a website and there's like 7 million pages of ads. And then I'm about to freak out because I cannot be clicking through that many ads. It makes me insane. So next, example post 4, you can now print money directly from your phone, launching on the PayPal app. Will you be using it? So this is by PayPal. So again, you can easily fake a tweet. So immediately I would want to see if this really came from their account. But let's say you go to their account and you see it's actually on their account, because this did really appear on the PayPal United Kingdom account. So why would they say this? You could print money. That makes no sense. It can't be real. Pay attention to the date. See that there? April 1st, 2018. It was April Fool's Day. So this is going to circle around for people who can't go, oh my gosh, this is a joke. So Google does one every year. So just pay attention. You got to pay attention, or you're going to be like, wait, I can print money from my phone? No, you cannot. You will be sorely disappointed. All right, let's compare some headlines. So again, we're talking about how they could tell the truth, but they'll tell it slant. They'll tell the truth, but they'll tell it with a bias. So here's an example of something that happened recently in the news. And these are two different news sites that go two different political party ways. Okay. So the first one says top general was so fearful that Trump might spark war that he made secret calls. So that's one headline. The other headline says Woodward's peril, Milley secretly took steps to undermine Trump after January 6th. These two things are talking about the same thing. The fact that a general called China secretly. Now, one side is saying he did that because he was afraid of what would happen otherwise. So he needed to go. This was him championing a cause. The other one is saying he went behind the back of the president. You don't do that. So I'm not saying which one is true. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, honestly. You ever heard that saying where it's like there's three sides of the truth, your side, my side, and the real truth? So this is just part of it. It's like the fact is he made a call to China. Trump didn't know about it, period. That's the fact. They're going to say he made a call to China because he needed to, because it was the right thing to do. And this side's going to say he made a call to China. He didn't tell Trump. He undermined him. He took away his ability to do that. So which one are you going to believe? I will say, if you only read one site, you're going to start to buy into that bias and not see the bias for what it is. You need to visit multiple sites to get the full picture. And then you can step back and go, okay, I can see where they're coming from. I can see where they're coming from. The truth's in the middle somewhere, probably. So just knowing where it's coming from. When looking for news, look for media that's willing to fact check itself. So some news articles at the very bottom, they'll say, in the original version of this, we said so-and-so was so-and-so, and that's incorrect. They'll be willing to go and usually it's a footnote at the bottom that says, sorry, we said the wrong thing. It's actually this. Headlines that are not gossip. Okay. So gossip news is like prime minister offended by tweet, lashes out in response. That's not news. That's gossip. Anytime somebody mad at so-and-so, angry that say they said this, that's not news. It's gossip. People like to read that, but that belongs on TMZ. Okay. Prime minister offended by tweet, lashes out in response. It's like Mean Girl stuff. That's what this is. It's not news. News is 1,000 refugees relocated to Atlanta today. That's news. That's like something actually occurred. It's not like emotional necessarily. It's not trying to evoke emotion. It's just, here is a fact. Here's something that happened. They can have a bias to it, but they're telling you about something that occurred, not look at how mad these people are. Here's some, if it's drama and it's tea, we don't need it. If it's like there's something that actually happened, okay, let's find out about that. Compare headlines from multiple sources, big red flags, stuff with all caps, pop-ups and banner ads. Yeah, that's fake. Check the domain again, .com, .co. That's fake. It should just be .com or .org or whatever. Even if it's .com, you got to check it because sometimes that stuff can be faked as well. If you're on an unknown site, check the about page, then Google it and see what comes up. Like sometimes they'll post stuff and you'll be like, this, you can look up the website and be like, oh, this is a media source that posts sensationalist stuff. If they have links, follow them. If it's, sometimes they'll post things and then under it will be a link to something else, but it's really, really old. So it could be like housing market crashes, but it's from 2008, you know, but they don't put the date right there. And so you'll just see it after you've read an article and it'll just be the next thing that comes up. And you're like, wait a minute, what, there's a crash? No, happened a long time ago. Gut check. If it makes you angry, if it evokes an emotional response, it probably was supposed to do that. They're probably trying to do it. And if it's not true, if you're not sure it's true, don't share it. Ooh. All right, so we're gonna make some fake news. So it is 5:30. If y'all have to leave, no worries. But we are going to go ahead and make some fake news. Let me stop sharing. I love this one. This one's really fun. It's a fun game. And then I will pull up the fake news. So it's just the best little website for talking about social media misinformation. So we're going to play the part of a troll. So let's go back to why would someone share something fake? Sometimes it's to sow discord between groups. So international interference and stuff that happens with social media, and it's to cause division between Americans. And so they'll post stuff and you're like, wait a minute. They were trying to get people angry at each other. Sometimes just trolls. Sometimes people just like sit behind their keyboards and they're sad little people and they want to stir stuff up. So Sometimes people get paid to do this too. Like this is their job, is to get likes and tweets. So our goal right now is we're going to play the part of a fake news creator. And our goal is to get as many followers as we can and to spread as much fake news as we can. So here we go. All right. So I'll be reading this to you and then we're going to go through this kind of quick. Okay. And I'm not going to wait for y'all's response, but if there's something big, y'all tell me what you want. All right. So, hey there, good to see you. I'm going to say, hey. So right now, look over here. We got 0 followers. Our credibility is neutral because we don't have any. What is credibility? It's like, how believable are we? You know? So we're just leaving it there. You're here for the position of disinformation and fake news tycoon. Is that correct? Why, yes, it is. That's what we're here for. We're getting a new job right now. You're probably frustrated about something, right? Aren't we all? You can get started by using Twitter to vent. Okay, so let's post a frustrated tweet, right? This government is a complete and utter failure. Hashtag resign, losers. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're gonna post this. Okay. Look, our constructive criticism of the government got us a few followers, and more followers means more influence. But look, our credibility is kind of low. Not really a choice here. This make you kind of proceed. Words to live by, but people don't find us very credible yet. To gain some real influence, we need to raise our credibility. But how? I'll show you. But first, would you like to take part in a study? Nope, that's going to take us off this site. I already did this earlier. All right, so I'll show you. We could start by borrowing someone else's credibility first. So should we impersonate someone important or fake an official Twitter account? So I'll let you guys tell me what you want to do. We want to impersonate somebody or do we want to fake an official Twitter account? So you can just tell me impersonate or fake in the chat. We're going to get interactive here because why not? I won't let you guys choose all of them just for the sake of time, but should we fake it or should we impersonate? We're going to fake an official Twitter account. Here we go. We are Joe Biden. As your president, I have issued an executive order to rename Canada to North Dakota. Hashtag you got annexed. Yeah, let's tweet it. Why not? Nicely done. Annexing Canada is just realistic enough to worry people. Not everybody's going to believe that, but some people will be like, wait, what? Did you notice his name was slightly different? You can scroll back up to check. So check it out. Yes, they have the same picture, but look, Joe Biden is the N with, it's actually an N in Spanish with a little swirly thing on top. So not the real one. And they'll do that. They'll like, people share this stuff all the time on Facebook where it's like, win a free Disney trip by sharing this post. And it's called Disney World, period. And I'm like, oh man. So that's the thing. So nicely done. Annexing Canada. So, okay, got it. Looks like we fooled some Twitter users. Let's have a look at how they're reacting. Let's see how our Twitter users are reacting. Oh my God, is he serious? Has Joe gone completely mad? Hashtag leave Canada alone. More, haha, yes, awesome. We need this. Hashtag you just got annexed. So how are we feeling? We're feeling pretty good. Me too, but you can't keep imitating forever. So what's the next step? So this is the first thing they'll do. They'll imitate people. They'll fake an official news account, and that's an official person's account. So we want to go pro. We don't want to peek. Where do we begin? So should we start a news site? Yeah, let's start a news site. Every news site has a name. What's our name? The Cosmos Post. Honest Truth Online, The Best Words. The Cosmos Post covers everything. I don't know about this. Honest Truth Online is probably going to be the one that people will buy because they're like, why would you call yourself Honest Truth if you're not going to be honest or truthful? So let's go with that one. What will be our job title? Editor-in-chief. All right. Honest Truth Online needs a slogan. Bursting the mainstream media bubble. A concerned citizen's personal opinion. Nope, we need more legitimacy than that. What they don't want you to read. Oh my God, people post this stuff all the time. Y'all, I got some family members that post this kind of stuff all the time. So let's just use this one. All right, Honest Truth Online has now become the basis of our fake news empire. Hooray. We earned a badge, impersonation. A minute ago, we were just an angry citizen, but now we're a big shot editor-in-chief running a real news site. Okay, next. All right, first badge, we got it. The world's our oyster, but we need content. It's time to post our first article. Okay, the lives of ants, the joy of routine, the 25 most popular TV shows, or president to visit Luxembourg early next year. So we've got 3 things. I don't think ants are going to do it. Popular TV shows might get some stuff. It's kind of clickbaity, but not really. Honestly, if we want to create some serious like buzz, we're going to talk about politics. And so anything about the president is going to get some interest. So we're going to post that. Yawn, boring, who cares? That didn't work. Our article did not use any manipulation techniques, so it didn't go very far. Psych, I was wrong. So let's try that again. Do we want to go for emotional content or serious content? Tell me in the chat. Should we post something emotional or serious if we're trying to get likes and followers and stir up a bunch of mess? Kind of gave it away. Ooh, psych. Oh, yes, we want to post emotional stuff. Absolutely. Let's make people mad by attacking something. What do we want to do? Talk about video games or browse exploitable news headlines? We are not here to talk about video games. We're going to browse some headlines. Climate change could have serious negative impact on our way of life. Genetically modified foods pose no risk to human health. So do we want to do GMOs or climate change? If you guys are having to get up, don't worry about it. Climate change is kind of a hot topic, but so is genetically modified food. So climate, okay, here we go. Let's attack climate change. I'm not saying we believe this. This is just for fun. Good choice. What's our opinion? Let's talk about how it's a total hoax. Why not? It's a total hoax and a very polarizing one at that. It should be easy to get people worked up over this. So exploiting people's basic emotions can be hugely effective. Do we want to personally attack scientists, get emotional, or talk about science? Let's not talk about science. Let's get emotional. Why not? Emotional stories are always a good weapon. So let's make a meme. Memes are a great way of spreading things from person to person. So we're going to make a meme, few options to choose from. Apparently I was ruining the planet, keeping my baby warm. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, because it's talking about how like turning the heat on. How dare you? You know, we'd rather make the baby suffer, right? Let's see what's next. Global warming. I don't mind a bit of heat. Saying it's cold outside. Climate scientists confess only in it for the money. Sad. This is a good one too. I've seen this. This is very possible. So this one's very emotional. I feel like we can go with this. Oh, check out our followers. We're up to 200. Not bad. Everybody wants to keep babies warm. You get a couple of followers. How do you think they'll react? I can't resist that meme. Sad puppy eyes. Down with science. Climate hoax. Wait, now scientists are demanding that babies freeze to save the climate. Insane. Climate hoax. Your followers look like they're ready to blow. And look, we got more people. And all we did was play into their basic emotions a bit. Yes, not bad. All right, let's keep going. Now you get the idea. What basic emotion do we want to exploit next? Both of these will get a rise out of people. Should we play off people's fear or play off their anger? Like I said, there's not really a, if you're trying to troll people and create misinformation, there's not really a bad choice. Anger, yeah, let's make people mad. Sorry, this is not who I am. We're just playing a game. All right, they test anti-aircraft guns on innocent puppies. They're not giving me a choice, so I guess we're just going to click that one. The content doesn't matter. It's the use of emotional language that gets us followers. We're up to 400. So we got another badge, our emotion badge, because we've been mastering the use of emotional content. Now our followers are duly enraged. Why don't we give them another push? So what do we want to get them worked up about? Something real or something fake? What do we want to get them mad about? Something real or fake? All right, something fake. Here we go. Not so fast. Making fake news has downsides. Tell us more. If we get caught in an obvious lie, it hurts our credibility. But there are other ways to achieve the same goal. Social media is full of real, they're going to make us do real news by playing people's emotions and political biases. So let's find a real thing and play off of it. So the second accidental chemical spill in 4 months, our town's river's turning yellow. They're building a new power plant in town, but nobody wants it here. Bribery, maybe? They're suggesting people got paid off. Wow, just saw the police arrest a guy. Scary stuff. Are we safe? So do we want to do chemical spill, new power plant, or police arrested a guy? What do y'all want? You can just say chemical, I forgot the next one. Power plant or police. Chemicals. Okay. Good choice. No one likes a chemical spill. Susan's story could become a huge scandal if we play our cards right. Here we go. Two possible angles here. We can blame corporations or we can blame the government. Who do we want to blame? Are we going to blame corporations? Okay. Traditionally, it's a left-wing angle to blame that, but you could have gone with the right-wing one as well. It doesn't matter. You just choose a side and you demonize your target as much as possible. So that's what we're doing. Susan almost has no followers. No one cares about her and her story. Let's go world's smallest violin. No need to get sarcastic. What counts is that we amplify her story. So we're going to give her basically a place to where she can share her thoughts. So we're going to talk about how Susan's story is an example of how some corporations lack regulation to some extent. Spilling scandal. Not great. It didn't use any buzzwords. Looks like our followers are not going to give a hoot. So we're going to play people's emotions. Let's do another meme. Why not? Apocalypse movie or corporate utopia? Let's see what else we've got. Waste products, but profits are going up. See, and look, it's on this picture. It looks like it's doomsday. Corporate profits before everything, right? So this looks like this child has been really struggling. So which one do we like? Do we like burning city? Do we like waste products? I agree fully. All right. Good choice. We politicize our look. Here go our followers again. Our followers are slowly picking up the story. We got quite a few followers, but not enough. So what do? We're going to create a program. So this is where it gets really interesting. And this happens a lot. We're going to get a program where we have 1,000 fake Twitter accounts, bots, what they call, to like it and share it. So these are not real people. We have created a program where it gets shared a bunch of times by these fake bots. So let's do that. 4,000 followers now, just because we used bots to do it. This happens all the time. They can make any small story look huge. So yeah, let's see how it works. So this is what they write. Big corporation are blamed for this disaster. Big corporation are ruining this beautiful land. How we live like this? So these are fake. They're not real. They just kind of put out a bunch of jargon. Looks like our followers are falling for it. We're up to 4.6 thousand followers. And here are some real tweets. So big corporations are making a total mess with support from right-wing crazies. Robot, we have to stop these lunatics from hijacking our society. They totally fell for it. Spilling scandal, hashtag, is now trending, and we've destroyed all nuance in the debate. Well done. So now we've done polarization. That's another thing, is where we take a tweet and we make it a partisan issue where it's one party or the other, or one political ideology or the other against each other, and we create division. And that's what we're doing when we're doing this stuff. All right. And again, we can try to go for the other 3 badges, but whenever you guys have to head out, just let me know. No worries. I'm just going to keep going. We're moving on up, but we lack a dedicated group of followers. So how are we going to get one? Are we going to create unique content? Are we going to be conspiracy theorists? Conspiracies are like this, there's a secret something going on behind the scenes. Let's create new content. Okay. It's hard to stick out a niche, so we got to be really unique. It may be worthwhile to put out a theory and see what happens. So dinosaurs help build the pyramids, or juice boxes are laced with LSD to keep us subdued. So we're drugging people. Or schools no longer teach cursive, so kids cannot read the Communist Manifesto. So we don't want people to read the Communist Manifesto. Dinosaurs help with, I don't feel like the dinosaurs one's gonna be very credible. Juice boxes laced with LSD. Schools don't teach cursive, so they can't read Communist Manifesto. So juice boxes. All right. So we're going to say that there's secret stuff in the juice boxes. Better stay away from the juice from now on. Anyway, nice theory. How are our followers reacting? What a stupid story. Just drank a sip of juice and guess what? Not hallucinating. Oop. I think that on purpose, they picked things that people would not buy into. Followers are not buying it. We lost a few hundred. Maybe the theory is really disconnected. You made me do this. Take responsibility. You want to talk about juice conspiracy. Anyway, the sun is done. How do we get back on track? We weren't aiming for an ideological filter bubble. We have to lure people in bit by bit. So it'll be the next step. Start with something more realistic. So a good conspiracy starts something realistic and expands on that. Who do you want? Do we want to attack Bob from New York? Do we want to attack a large international organization? So we're going to pick a new angle. We're going to go after somebody. Are we going after this big organization? Or are we going after Bob? And let me say while we wait, 0% condoning this. This is everything you shouldn't do, but I'm just showing you this to show you how easy it is to make fake stuff, right? All right, by targeting a large organization, you can manipulate your source material and craft a believable theory. So here's a organization. So they're saying, it's a pandemic, wash your hands and isolate yourself. This is another big organization. We'll be doubling our efforts to comply with goals set in Agenda 21. Okay, so we're either picking the COVID from the World Health Organization. We're going to take a legitimate organization's thing and we're going to go after it. And that's either the World Health Organization or the United Nations. So are we wanting to go after the COVID post? Or are we wanting to go after the UN? Okay, so we're going to go after COVID-19. Interesting. It's warning people about coronavirus. So that's good for them, but why not spread a little bit of fear and loathing about the disease? Do you see how this stuff is created? And this has been a year and a half now, this stuff floating around. Our followers might be susceptible to a bit of fear mongering, but remember, we got to start out with something vaguely realistic. Here's an example. When are you guys going to comment on the accusations that it was a manufactured bioweapon? So basically saying, so we're trying to incite fear. So we're saying maybe it was created in a lab. Here's another option for us. They're ignoring the fact that the virus is a plot by big pharma. So these big pharmaceutical companies to make profits. So, they're killing us like cockroaches with the virus and we're supposed to be grateful over our dead antibodies. So which one are we liking? Which one are we wanting to post? We want to post stuff about like, it's a bioweapon. Are we wanting to post big pharma? Or are we wanting to post that, cockroaches one where it's like we're supposed to be grateful, like, but basically trying to stir stuff up. That's what people do when they make these posts. They're trying to evoke an emotional response. All right, yeah, calling us cockroaches, that's gonna make us mad. We don't like that. Bad choice. That one was far out there. Whoops, sorry. I thought it was a good choice. Okay, let's just tweet this one instead, the big pharma one. Good choice. There's no evidence to support our claim, but it doesn't matter if it gets followers. We're back to 3.9 thousand. How are our followers reacting? Why exactly aren't you responding to their tweet? So now the World Health Organization is getting attacked by our followers. I already had my doubts, but now I'm happy that these people share my concerns, question more, looking good so far. After our little trial balloon, how about publishing a proper news article? Sure, they don't give us a choice. So here goes a news article. Should we do coronavirus may pose a risk, but scientists debate the seriousness. So basically they're saying, is it as legit as they're saying? The coronavirus cover up, what they don't want you to know. And coronavirus test known to cause nerve damage. So which one are we feeling? The seriousness one, where they're saying it may not be as serious as they're thinking. Are we thinking the cover up? The middle one. Yep, got you. Okay. Cover up, very creative. Looks like we're getting real following, 4.3. I can recommend, they say. I'm just going to skip this. These people are really liking our content. Thanks, Jose. Well, we certainly got these people convinced customer loyalty is important. We've successfully used manipulation to bring our followers to believe a conspiracy theory. Things are looking up for us. So we got the conspiracy badge. Well-crafted lie published at the right time makes people lose trust in institutions. Am I saying you should never question an institution? No, you should always be questioning things, but I mean everything as well. And do your research, okay? Look for a trusted source. What's our problem? Some fact checker has taken notice of us, so we need to have a look at this. So somebody's saying that we're spreading lies. So now somebody's, fact checking us. Feels bad. What do we want to do? Do we want to do nothing? Do we want to take revenge? Or do we want to apologize? We're going to take revenge. All right, here we go. Striking back is definitely the way to go. So should we deny all the allegations or attack the fact checker? I'm going to make this choice for us because to attack them, we have to actually attack them. We can't just deny stuff. So we're going to attack them. Excellent choice. Nothing like a scathing personal attack. How about we write a little thing about that website? So fact check online, we're coming after you. All right, tax evasion. They haven't paid their taxes in 5 years. So now instead of talking about ourselves and how we might be spreading some lies, we're going to throw it back on the other place and start attacking them. So we're going to talk about their taxes, or we can talk about how the editor drowns a puppy. That's really sad. Or we're going to talk about the managers are filmed beating their staff. That's kind of horrible also. So I'm going to pick this one for us because I don't like the other ones. Okay. Taxes are a bit boring, but not bad. And your followers are rushing to our defense now. So they're criticizing us, but you're cooking your own books. Sad. Hypocrisy is jaw dropping. Pay your fair share. So now they're all mad that this other place is not paying taxes. So they're now playing defense. These allegations are not true. We're innocent, nothing but facts. But now we've discredited them. So instead of us taking the heat for posting fake stuff, we've now put all the attention back on the other place. So now discrediting things, that's another thing we do when we're making fake news. One more badge. All right, here we go. We're getting pretty good at this. Let's see how far we can take the skills we've learned. So we're going to keep playing offense. Okay, what do we want to post? The 25 most romantic cities in Europe? Or passenger plane disappears off the radar, many fear dead? Or researchers discover new species of starfish with even more legs? So cities, plane, or starfish, which one are we wanting to post? Now remember, our job is as a misinformation, disinformation, fake news thing is to spread fake news. So are we wanting to talk about cities? Are we wanting to talk about a plane disappearing off the radar? All right, romantic cities. Did we become they're going to make us pick the plane crash. Okay. Great choice. Lots of emotions to exploit here. So should we sow doubt about what happened with the plane, or should we empathize with the victims and say, oh, we feel for these victims, or should we start to sow doubt about what actually happened? Victims or doubt? Do we want to feel for the victims' families, or do we want to sow doubt about maybe what actually happened with the plane? What do you guys think a fake news place would be more interested in doing? Let's see. All right, terrible disaster. Let's see what happens. Yes, terrible, but who do you think is behind this? Honest truth needs to dig into this. It's very suspicious. Looks like your followers aren't ready to accept that it's an accident. So, all right, they're going to make us sow doubt. So we're going to sow some doubt. One of the plane's passengers was recently fired for whistleblowing. Let's tweet that. Ought to raise a few eyebrows. So now they're thinking maybe it wasn't an accidental crash. Maybe this was something somebody did on purpose. Ooh, bombshell allegations. Highly suspicious. Could be a huge conspiracy we're uncovering. Guys, there's almost never an actual conspiracy. Almost never. This is me talking. This is not the game. People love to think there's a conspiracy everywhere you turn over a rock. It's just really not. I mean, the world is just a lot more boring than in terms of that stuff than we give it credit for. But they're buying our whistleblowing conspiracy. So we're suspicious, blah, blah, blah. Look, gaining some more followers, up to 5,000 now. The debate is getting heated. Everyone's using our hashtag investigate now. What's next? Should we impersonate a victim to pretend to be a victim, or should we Photoshop some evidence? What do you guys think we should do next? Photoshop or impersonate? All right, let's fake some evidence. Excellent choice. Using doctored images as evidence is a tried and true disinformation technique. They love to manipulate images. Okay. So I'm going to pick this one because when I did this earlier today, this one is kind of meh. It kind of looks like a football plane. So I picked this one earlier and it seemed to work. So it looks like there's two planes. And this guy's pointing something at the plane. Is it a weapon? Don't know. Very realistic. And look, even the loathsome mainstream media. So the mainstream media, the big media places are weighing in on it now. So cause of crash still unclear. Rumors of cover up gaining steam. They're not saying it's a cover up. They're just saying people are talking about it more. So we're getting some followers, keep increasing the pressure. We're almost done. What do? Discredit the investigation or use a Twitter bot army? Should we discredit or use some bots? Oh, heck yeah, we're going to use some bots. Bot army released. This is a cover up. We deserve the truth. Fake bots, fake robots, fake accounts, literally just artificial intelligence. They're not even real people. Just again, y'all, it's crazy the way this stuff works. Look at our followers. Holy moly. People don't trust the investigation anymore. What started off as an accident has become a huge cover up. Will we deliver the honors of the final vote? So should we do fake evidence or should we impersonate a victim? What do you think our final blow should be as a fake news generator? Fake evidence or impersonate a victim? All right, let's impersonate a victim. Great idea. Try posing as a grieving family member to discredit the authorities. So we'll be their brother. My younger brother died in this disaster. The authorities are showing no sympathy for my pain. Ooh, that would get so much play on social media if this was a real thing. That would get so much play. The committee responsible is responding to the controversy. We take the concerns seriously, but can make no statements right now. Uh-oh, looks suspicious. We got them back on their heels. Should we, a little more push, should we use more bots or should we call for somebody to resign their job? Call for resignation or use more bots? You guys are being really good sports. I know I'm asking a lot of choices of y'all. Yeah, I love the bots too. Let's do it. Here we go. Fake. This tagline says real human. Definitely not a real human. And a press alert came in. So the guy actually resigned anyway because of what we did. Hooray, question mark. Wow, we fabricated a national scandal with nothing but a few well-placed clicks. Our Twitter army is dominating the debate. We're up to 7,000 followers. We're not going to take part of it. Give me my badge. Our last badge was the trolling badge. So you see now how, we're done with the game. You see now how this can be done with just a few clicks, that people with the right motivation, not the right motivation, but with enough motivation can tear people down and create fake stuff, manipulate content, use bots, sow doubt, do conspiracy stuff, you play off people's emotions. And again, why would people do this? Again, well, maybe again, it's because it's their job. They get paid to do it from a certain news site. Maybe they're just trolls and they want to ruin people's lives for fun. I don't know, y'all. It's kind of sad, but it happens a lot. And I think the main takeaway here is just whatever you read, not to be skeptical in a bad way and like mistrusting of everything, but rather just again to read everything with some distance. Like, pay attention. Is it drama? Is it trying to incite emotional attack or emotional response from me? Who is writing it? What ideological camp do they fall into? What are they trying to gain from it? Who paid for it? Is it a real site? So just pay attention to it, y'all. If you learn how to do this, you'll be better than 70%. I'm making up a stat here. Do not search this on the internet. This is a made up stat, but I'll just say a lot of the folks that I have connections with on social media will post things that are either emotional or just fake and just wrong. So you guys will be way ahead of folks if you can figure out how to do that. And it takes practice. So thanks, y'all. Any questions, comments, thoughts? I hope y'all enjoyed that. I know it's a little different. I know it took a little longer than normal, but I so appreciate y'all being really good sports and doing that with